Kids are in bed?
Kids are in bed.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 67 of The Kids Are in Bed. I'm Tim Severson, and this is Jenni Severson. Jenni, how are you?
Hey.
Hi. I said, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
You're looking fair today.
You're looking fair as well.
I've been thinking about what my plans are this weekend since it's Father's Day and you're conveniently skipping town on me and leaving me alone.
Sorry.
And I saw a sign nearby.
Did it open up your eyes?
I saw the sign. The Hennepin County Fair is this weekend.
Oh.
Or maybe it's the North Hennepin County Fair. I don't know. I don't think it's the only one.
Multiple Hennepin
This
County
is the
fairs.
one in Corcoran, Minnesota. And it got me thinking, I don't know much about fairs.
Oh.
And where they came from and what they're all about.
Okay.
So let's talk about it.
Let's dive right in. I mean, you've been to a fair.
I have.
You've read books about fairs.
Yes.
You've watched movies about fairs.
Yeah.
I think you probably know more about fairs than you think you do.
Well, I didn't know when they started. Like the county fair as we know it.
Okay.
Do you know when it started?
When the county fair as we know it started.
Yeah, like where it comes from?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like a circus, but not really. So,
Right.
I feel like maybe when traveling circuses stopped, county fairs started, perhaps.
Interesting logic, but no.
Oh,
Incorrect.
Okay. I know, like the World's Fair.
Right.
That was before county fairs.
No.
Dang it, wrong again?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm really struggling here. Okay, let me try again. County fairs. Something to do with the harvest. Gotta be.
Nope.
It's gotta be.
No.
Oh, dang it.
You're not even fairly close.
Oh. I give up. If not the harvest, then what could it
You're
be?
right. That question wasn't really fair. I could do this all night. It actually started in 1807. And so when I was thinking, it's funny because you gravitated towards like the amusement side of it. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, it can't just be as simple as like a farmer wanted to show somebody some cows or something like that, is it? But it turns out in 1807, Elkanah Watson in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
That's a person?
Yes.
Elkanah?
I
Wow.
think they call them Elkie for short.
I hope not.
Nah. He showcased merino sheep.
I didn't really get that one.
Elkanah. Nah. His last name his name is Elkanah.
Oh.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
I was like, were you trying to neigh like a horse? I was very confused. I was like, that's neigh, not nah. Like, what? Like, neigh.
Good one. Good impression.
Are there horses at this fair?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
at this first one.
Okay,
He
sorry.
was just, this guy just, I mean, I didn't look really deep into it, but it seems like he just wanted to show off his sheep. But more than that, I think it was,
Had some sheep. Wanted people to see his sheep.
yeah, you guys need to come check out these sheep. You're not going to believe it.
It was a sheep show.
It was a sheep show. Yeah.
All right.
But essentially it turned into the concept of, I think probably more realistically was it turned into like how to shear sheep, and it was kind of a collective of farmers and agriculture to talk about farming and agriculture.
Educational, you say?
Yes. A very community oriented, and then just over time, enough people I think were also like, I was like, you think those sheep are impressive? You should see my cows.
What about the horses?
What about the horses?
And then the pigs?
And then some guy just shows up. He's like, I have a llama. And they're like, okay.
Reptiles?
Yep. Although those are more of an attraction.
When did the rides come?
What's the ride section called at a fair?
The Midway.
Yeah. So, Midway. Where else do you know of a Midway?
St. Paul?
Yep. Close. Any other cities ring a bell with a Midway?
New York?
Nope.
Chicago?
Yeah. That's where the Midway Plaisance was at the Chicago World's Fair, and that's where the games and attractions were. And so that's where the name Midway comes from.
No shit.
Yeah.
I certainly thought it was midway between something at the fair. Certainly.
Why do they call it Midway when it's always at the end?
It's always at the end.
Yeah, so that's where that comes from. And so also, because you know this, what was the big attraction at the Chicago World Fair that was a ride?
Ferris wheel.
Yes.
Got distracted by all the murder.
Yes.
But I do remember the Ferris wheel.
Yeah. So the original Ferris wheel was 264 feet tall and was it could hold like 2,000 people. It was gigantic. Had these huge hydraulic presses, and I think it was like a giant chore for them to like get rid of. It was like, great, now what? And they had to like strip it down, and
they just took it apart.
Yeah,
right?
They took it apart, and
R.I.P.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, what are you thinking? But that was where the concept of having an attraction and rides like that kind of started, and that was in 1893.
World's Fair.
Mm-hmm.
The first time they ever had an attraction or a ride.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine probably at some of the county fairs they did, simple little games or,
hay ride.
Hey, yeah.
Maybe.
Right, yeah. Play on the hay
Bob
bells.
for apples.
Bob for apples.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Could be getting confused here, but I feel like I might be mixing.
Yeah. But I think the concept of games and a Midway definitely started or took a greater hold after the Chicago World's Fair.
Interesting. All right.
And then, they kind of existed as that simple way for a long time. But then once it made its way to the Midwest, that's when things started to kind of take over and get out of control with the fair stuff.
All right, let's go. Represent.
So some fun Minnesota-based trivia. The Pronto Pup. That is the first corn dog in existence from the Minnesota State Fair.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was invented at the Minnesota State Fair in 1947.
Let's go.
Texas claims they had it earlier.
Okay.
But there's not really any substantial proof. It's just Texas going, we did it first. So
follow the evidence.
Right. Pronto Pups are where it's at.
Where are the receipts, Texas?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. Exactly. And then also another fun bit of Minnesota trivia is that the Tilt-A-Whirl was also invented in Minnesota.
That is a rough ride.
1926, Herbert Sellner Faribault.
Oh, Herbert.
Yep. Debuted at the 1927 Minnesota State Fair.
Do you think Herbert was a stand-up guy? Or do you think he was just a giant POS?
Well, here, this will probably answer your question.
Okay.
This was before the days of OSHA, of course. And so it was debuted at the Minnesota State Fair. He built it in his own yard and used his kids as his test subjects.
Well, they probably were having fun. I think he was a stand-up guy.
I think
He never put them in danger, in my mind. He was just trying to show his kids a good time, invent something fun for them. Their safety was at the top of his mind at all times. And then it turned out really, really well. And he was like, oh my gosh, I could introduce this to other people's children and make all the children throw up, not just mine.
That's true.
I think that he was a real good guy. Yep.
Okay. I think Herbert Sellner was a piece of shit.
I feel like those are the only two options, though, right? There's no way he was just like a guy. He was either an awesome guy or a terrible guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was.
I want to make the Herbert Sellner like documentary where he's just like an alcoholic who's just like spent his whole life trying to get the Tilt-A-Whirl right, you know?
He wasn't an alcoholic.
Scribbling it out on... Shut up, you'll write it again.
I think we're writing two very different screenplays right now because that's not what's happening in my story.
I think that's... Okay, how about the other one that has... there's another ride that has Minnesota roots.
Let's go.
It is a ride that you and I rode together once at the Crow Wing County Fair.
Is it the zipper thing?
It is the zipper. Debuted in 1968.
Why do you remember riding on the zipper with me?
I remember it because it was... That is a summer, and that particular county fair... I can remember being so excited the days that I was going to meet you there. It was like, I don't know. It was just a good experience for me.
Fun times at the fair. Walking
around in the endless loop of the, I don't know. What do you think a lap was? Was it a mile?
A mile, maybe.
Maybe.
It was
over and
it
over.
It was not very big.
And over again we would walk.
It's not very big.
And what I like about fairs is no matter the size, no matter the place, it brings the same spread. It brings the collective of people. So that's why it's like
I really thought you were gonna rhyme there.
Oh yeah, I didn't have it. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's like you get the same collective, and it's always like, why is the fair crowd always such a specific crowd? And it's not a specific crowd. It's just that it draws a bit of everybody in the community to the same place. And that gets, you don't think so?
I don't think so. I think it draws a bit of a certain type of person more than others. I do. I like what you're saying, though. It's a good representation of the community.
There are pockets.
That's nice.
There are pockets where you know who you're going to find in those areas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're always going to find an impossibly skinny dude with, for some reason, 2 girls under each arm in the Midway. I don't know why he's everywhere, but he's existed.
Why is he so skinny?
He's always so skinny. So impossibly skinny. His arms...
He needs to go to the Lions Club booth and get a cheeseburger.
You know, I was going to ask you to think of a fair food, and not specifically state fair, because state fair is like different because there's specialties and things like that. But I was going to ask you the question, like, what if you had to think of a fair food that you would eat? And I'm like, I know the answer. It's the Lions Club cheeseburger at the Crow Wing County Fair. You love
so good
those.
So good.
I remember
those are the best cheeseburgers.
I remember multiple times losing you at the fair and telling people, I'm like, she's probably at the Lions Club again. And you would be just pounding another cheeseburger down.
They're so good.
You loved those.
But you know what? Only at the county fair.
Yeah.
I've never had a cheeseburger at the state fair. That was a county fair staple.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just, I don't know what it was about the way they did them there, or what the patty was. Right. It was good stuff.
They did something right.
This is also, I think, a good time to mention that I come from people who traveled with the fair. My mother was a part of a 4-person, all made of her family, balancing act.
It's very interesting.
That would travel around with fairs and do performances.
Was that fairs or circuses?
I honestly, it might be a mixture of both.
Oh.
I always thought, I would have said fairs, but I suppose there could have been, I don't know. I don't think it was like they were specifically on a like fair tour, but maybe they were. I don't know. I feel like I should know these things and don't, but they did. My mom's side of the family, as you know, are all impossibly short. And so, but they would do a balancing act. Like my grandpa would lay on his back and like balance them on his hands and on his feet. And there's pictures of it. They were called the 4 gauges.
Pretty cool.
I know. Yeah. So we come from celebrity.
We should, see if you can balance your family on your
Hey, arms. I do a pretty good job with the kids in the pool, or at least I could with Jude. Jude was a little more daring than Clementine ever was, but remember, I'd be able to get him up like a cheerleader on a...
In the water? That doesn't count.
Well, I'm not He-Man.
Not one of the 4 gauges.
Well, I mean, I could lift a half a person.
That's true.
But
very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about sticking with the Midway. You know, you don't see a lot of innovation with the Midway. Do you know what I mean? In terms of...
Which is so strange because...
That's where it started.
That's where it came from.
Right.
The entire...
We've lost the thread, and it's all in the name of the bottom line of, it's so expensive to move everything around. And it's like, we'll find a better way and get cooler stuff. Like, and what's so interesting is I would have assumed like it was like 1 to 3 companies that kind of controlled that, but it sounds like there's quite a few that do the same thing. And I guess they all just get the same fun houses and gravitrons and all that. Debuted in 1986, by the way, in Florida.
Oh,
the
wow.
Gravitron. Do you remember the Gravitron?
Yeah, I do. That thing will make you sick.
Did you ever go upside down?
No.
Me neither.
They still have those, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Gravitron? Absolutely. That's what I mean. They're not upgrading. They're not doing anything. There is no innovation.
Yeah.
There's barely new games.
Well,
the only new Carnival game I've seen is the, trying to walk the rope ladder, but I don't even know how new that is.
You're right. It is just the cost. Innovation is happening in rides. It's just not happening at county fairs.
Right. But it's so weird because it's like part of the attraction itself, Everybody's always like, I wouldn't ride on those things. But then they go and then they send their kids on them. And it's like, hope it doesn't. Just see the zipper fly off.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Don't put such images in my brain.
So we talked about the livestock aspect. And so, again, people wanted to show off their animals turned into, judging them, which then it wasn't until like, I think the mid 20th century, early to mid 20th century, that they started to bring in the other things like baking and quilting and arts and things like that. That didn't start until then. Another fun fact about my family lineage, my grandmother on my father's side won the blue ribbon at the state fair for her caramel rolls.
Caramel rolls, you say?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Blue ribbon?
Blue ribbon.
State fair?
State fair. She might have also won for her rhubarb pie, too.
I had no idea you were so famous in the fair circles.
I mean, I thought it would be fairly obvious.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. You know, I never eat a caramel roll. Never. I mean, I have maybe in my life, like once or twice.
Yeah.
I'm not a caramel eating kind of gal.
Yeah.
But I would try your grandma's blue ribbon caramel rolls.
Yeah.
You have a recipe?
I mean, I'm sure somebody does. I don't think I have it.
Well, I feel like you should find the recipe and make them.
I was thinking about that as I was thinking about, I'm like, I wonder why I haven't sought that out to do it. I guess it's just because, I guess I didn't know that you would be interested in it.
Blue ribbon?
Yeah.
State fair?
Yeah.
Winner? I mean, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to make them every Sunday, but I'd like to try it once or twice in my lifetime.
As I recall, they are quite delicious.
I believe it.
I always used to, I think she put nuts on them. So I always used to have to get like rid of those. But now.
Classic kid move.
Yep. Classic. But then that, and then that morphs into all sorts of other contests. I've got some fun contest facts. Iowa, they have a big boar contest every year.
Okay.
In 2012, Reggie weighed 1,335 pounds.
That's not true. That's not safe. That's like animal abuse or something.
Reggie, you're going to get heart disease.
That's not really nice to do to that poor animal.
There he is. Look at how happy he looks to be a winner.
Oh my God. Ugh.
Oh,
Unsubscribe
man.
from that.
Oh man.
No
Reggie. Greased pig wrestling is against the law in Minnesota now. It used to not be. They used to do greased pig wrestling at fairs. One time,
I don't even understand what that means. The pigs wrestled each other?
you try to
human wrestled a pig.
Wrangle a pig and pin it down when it's all greased up and muddy.
Why? First of all, why would you do that? Second of all, why did it become illegal?
I think because a lot of times people would probably just suplex pigs and then they'd have a hurt pig and, then they'd have to probably humanely put it down. And then people were like, I don't want to watch that anymore.
Sad.
So, yeah, I think it was mostly just humane stuff. But at one Minnesota State Fair, a pig did get out. This was in the early 20th centuries. So they put up nets after that, but one escaped and got loose. That was all greased up running around the streets of the Minnesota State Fair.
I believe that. I'm shocked it only happened once.
I see greased pigs running around the Minnesota State Fair all the time. All the time. They're everywhere. In Iowa, they do both hog hollering and husband hollering contests.
Gee whiz. Husband hollering? What is that?
Well, I'll show you. This was the 2017 first place winner.
when you're calling me.
Roy? Roy! Can you hear me? You get yourself in here right now. Come on. You know you're going to be late again, and you know that I want to get there on time. Roy? Roy, 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 Roy! When I first started, my husband said to me, "You're not going to do that, Bonnie. You're not. Oh, please don't do it." I said, "I'm going to do it." I defied him, and I won first. So after that, he's gun-ho for me.
First place.
What on earth?
I defied him in one first.
This is insane. What? This can't be real life.
Yep. And also,
I sort of show off.
What is happening?
hog hollering.
Why are people watching this?
Everyone always has their little certain way of doing things, and I was thinking in the concession stand how I was going to do it, so I grabbed a pair of tongs, and they started naming off food, so I just decided on what I was going to name and how I was going to do it, so.
What year was that?
2008.
No! Are you serious? Oh my God. What is this world we live in?
So,
That was too much.
There are all sorts of odd traditions all over. Also, in Minnesota, we have the llama and goat costume contest. So there's
I didn't know about this.
Harry Potter situation, or sorry, not Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Despicable Me. I think that looked like Lord Voldemort for a second.
Look at the nose. This is Lord Voldemort literally doesn't even.
I don't want to stop talking about Lord Voldemort. But yeah, so there's a little taste of what we do in Minnesota. So
not familiar with this.
You know, I think you find that you need a lot of ways to pass time on the farm, maybe, and so you know, things just kind of
Dress up your llama.
Get it.
What? I'm literally just saying exactly what's happening.
I know. I just imagine. Now, no dressing your llama until you finish your chores.
What if dressing your llama was the chore?
I'll dress your llama. Okay. I got a couple of more fun facts. Also in Oklahoma, they do cow chip throwing.
And the old secret of throwing, after you throw your first chip, you're supposed to lick your fingers before you throw your second chip.
Just learning the best cow chip to pick, and they say that it needs to be small enough to fit in your hand and a little bit heavy so that it'll catch in the wind, and we're just hoping for the best.
Is that what I think it is?
Oh yeah, and there's technique to it.
Do they wear gloves?
You know, I imagine some do and some don't. it's all a feel thing apparently. So I think it's one, picking the right chip, but then it's getting the right blend of power and wrist fling. I think the record toss is like over 200 feet.
Wonderful.
So
most impressive.
But again, all the things that happen with the state fair just seems like you do become entertained by things you otherwise wouldn't be entertained by. Do you remember how apeshit people would go at the Crow Wing County Fair for the demolition derby?
People love the demolition derby.
Why do people love the demolition derby so much?
Couldn't say.
Just watching cars crash into each other.
Couldn't say.
The peak of entertainment, but it's just like, but it's not like there's demolition derbies all the time. Just one a year, and people are just like, "Yep, I need all of that." Maybe there's more. Were there multiple? Probably.
I think there's multiple.
I think
one of them just happens to be at the county fair.
Yeah. Before we start to wrap things up, we were talking about the Chicago World's Fair. Of course, infamously, H.H. Holmes was the titled first serial killer.
So we have been waiting for 15 years for something to come of this?
Yeah. So to reference H.H. Holmes, serial killer, there is a book by Eric Larson called Devil in the White City. We listened to this book on our way back from... we were driving home from New York one summer, and it was cool because they were talking about like the fair and the Midway when we were driving through Chicago.
It was pretty cool.
And then we got home and we had to listen to the book in bed, which is the most terrifying part because we drove all the way through and the book was like 20 and a half hours and it took us like 19 and a half to get home.
We were so close.
Yeah.
We had to finish it, but we were so tired we had to go to bed.
Yes.
So we just laid in bed and listened to the ending.
It's the most unbelievable book. Everything about the fair alone is wild. And then you add in this whole extra story. So anyways, to you saying we've been waiting 15 years. In 2010, Leonardo DiCaprio bought the rights to the book. And there were plans to make a movie with Martin Scorsese. And we rejoiced.
Rejoiced. That was when I still really loved Marty.
Yes.
He hadn't started to decline in my opinion yet.
Yes.
Still love him, but he's not at the top for me anymore.
Right. So then a few years went by and it
was going to be a series.
Yeah, it got switched over to a TV series, and I think it was supposed to go to Apple Plus or something.
Leo was going to act in it.
Yes.
He was going to be the title character.
Yeah.
But then when it switched to a TV series, he was just going to be a producer, and they were going to cast somebody else in the lead role. Right.
So, in early this year, it was reported that it's being revived as a film now with 20th Century Studios with Leo taking over the role of H.H. Holmes. No word if Marty is involved. Marty's involved as a producer, but no word on director. So...
Well, I'm not getting my hopes up.
No. I mean, it seems like it would be silly to do so, but I did know that would be on your mind. And so that's what we know.
Do the right thing, Leo. You've made the people wait long enough.
I mean,
I actually hope it's not Marty.
I don't think it can. I don't think it can be. Because it's there's so much to it. It's got to be a bit of a spectacle. It can't be just grimy, back alley kind of thing. Nikola Tesla was there, the Ferris wheel was there, there was that huge fire. Like a whole bunch went down. And so you gotta really you gotta
know where to cut out some stuff.
Was it the first radio broadcast there too? or radio communication.
Something interesting like that happened.
It was crazy what was brought there and what was debuted there. What?
It's okay.
Just happened.
Try again.
No, I'm good.
You got
I'm good. I don't need to. Hopefully
somebody
we get that.
who is willing to cut out where needed, I hope, is going to be writing the script. Because there's a lot of redlining that needs to happen.
Who would you want as your director for that one?
Wes Anderson.
I was just going to say that. I am so dead serious. That's who I was going to say.
It was a joke.
I know. Same, but it would be amazing.
It would be pretty funny.
It's just like, are you killing all these women? Oh, man. That is too funny.
Gillian Flynn? Is that her name? Gone Girl?
Yes.
Is that her name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure she did the screenplay.
She did.
And did a really good job because as the original author, she knew where to pull, where to cut, and what had to stay in.
Yeah.
That was a very good adaptation.
Yes.
Maybe Mr. Larson needs to assist here.
Here's the thing, though. I can't imagine what he cuts out to get down to his final draft.
It probably should be a series.
That's
for the content.
Well, that's the thing. You have to. It's gonna have to do a very good job of illustrating what's going on in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. It's going to cover all the World's Fair kind of cool stuff in one scene.
I think how you do it, right, is you're going to have multiple victims, and I think every victim sees a different part of the fair. Somebody rides the Ferris wheel.
Ooh.
Somebody, and then you get the whole fair through everybody's different perspective that ends up in the...
Okay.
Good evening, madam. Are you enjoying the splendors of our World's Fair?
Damn it. Shouldn't say this stuff out loud. I should be writing emails.
You should. It's very good. Very good.
Speaking of which, my cinematic debut of a highlight video of golf debuted today on Instagram.
Loved it.
Do me a favor and go give it a like.
Check it out. It was really good. The part where you switch the music.
Yeah, that's like my little Christopher Nolan.
It was
moment.
like very like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
On a golf course, but still.
Yeah. Well, this has no relevance to fairs, so
I bet something to do with golf was invented at a fair. Look it up.
Maybe. I don't think so.
No?
Scotland.
No, some sort of
you mean
new
like
new gadget or technology, or there's all those things you use.
Sure.
Those things you like look at what's that?
Rangefinder?
Yeah, maybe a rangefinder was
be.
invented at a fair. I don't know.
Could be.
Some maybe nope, probably not. It's possible. I'm just trying to help you out here.
Well,
or you can just talk about it because you want to.
The reason for the intensity is because it is like, again, if you're a golfer, you know just the feeling of having, I don't know how many people were probably gathered around, 100, 150 or so, watching these guys go into this shootout. And it's kind of a progressive. And at the end, there's just two teams, 2-on-2, that are battling it out. And I have a hard time when like the beverage cart girl happens to be parked behind us when I'm hitting a shot. That has got me all sorts of mentally incapacitated. So if it were a gallery of people, it changes things. So it was really fun because I recorded it. And so it's fun to watch that happen. There were a ton of good shots. It was impressive. So
yeah, it's a cool video. Check it out.
Yes. Drop a like on that one. Anyways.
Well, I hope that you have so much fun at the Hennepin County Fair this weekend.
Yes.
I'm disappointed to miss it.
I will report back. And I've never been. I've seen it. We used to be able to, if you recall, when we lived in Maple Grove, where they have the fair, they would also have some other, they would have the rodeo and then they would have concerts there.
Yeah.
And there's been a huge, I'll take some pictures so that we can talk about it next time, because it used to be all farmland and now it's all getting developed. And so when it first started getting developed, the Lions Club in Corcoran that owned it started putting up signs on the outside of the fence that's like, we have tractor pulls, we play our music loud, like don't move in if you can't deal with it, kind of stuff. Because
they still have those signs.
Oh yeah. It was like when we lived, I don't know, 3 miles away, and they would have local band Hairball play, and which is like an 80s cover band, and we could walk out. We'd sit outside our back patio and try to guess or I would probably try to guess what song they were playing, because we could hear it all the way over there. So I'll report on what it looks like. It's very enclosed now, in between a Hy-Vee apartments and the storage facility and townhomes on the other side. It's not going to
make it. It's not.
I don't know.
You have to go.
Pretty soon it's I'm gonna do my part to save it. Right. So I'll report back. Well, this was a fairly good time. Should we go check on the kids?
Let's go check on the kids.
We'll see you next week, everybody.